Madibaz Radio, opening up the waves for you to be heard.
Hey, it is a Friday, baby, and man, am I happy to be here. The time on the clock is 20 minutes past 12. Dungumamela Masango, and you are listening to your fun-filled Friday show, Levels. And today in studio, we have a very interesting guest. His name is Untoko Zomdluli. Many of you might know him as KO. Hello, KO.
Hey, how's it?
How are you doing today?
Cool. Hey, I just want to say sorry to all the listeners for the dead air, you know what I mean? The first few seconds before she started speaking. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy in the studio right now. Yes, sir.
He's got manners too. Nice. So how has your week been?
By the way, this past few days have been crazy. Special day, midweek, obviously, Women's Day. For me, so I just want to say happy Women's Day, belated, to all the beautiful queens and roses out there, man. This week has been pretty, it had its own,
like every other week does.
Exactly.
The usual.
Yeah, but, I had a chance to go perform for, the women on Women's Day. Yeah, out there in Nelspruit, all the way out in Mpumalanga and stuff. Other than that, just been at the crib working on new music.
Oh, okay. Considering that it is Women's Month, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the lady of the house here in studio. Are you also going to bless me with with a performance?
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that.
If the station is willing to cut the check, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that will be able to afford you. But since it's Women's Month, right? As I said, who are the most influential people, ladies, in your life?
Obviously, top of the list is my mom. Just instilling discipline, and I'm a semi-spiritual person. I go to church every Sunday. You know what I mean?
So you're that guy.
Yeah, so my mom instilled that in me, you know what I mean? And I just want to urge everyone out there, make sure that whoever, the higher power that you look up to, that you're connected with spiritually, make sure that, you get in touch with that person, however, and just, show gratitude and be grateful for each day, where
show
you
appreciation,
get to, you know what I mean?
Type of thing.
Yeah, because every day is a blessing, and just being here, being able to do what we do, you know what I mean, is a blessing. So
I like that.
My mom is top of the list.
Top of the list. Oh, okay. Shout out to KO's mom. Anyway, now you've been in the industry for quite a long time, approximately 12 years. You began actually becoming more prominent when you were with the group Tear Gas.
Yeah.
At about 2006, right?
Yeah.
And today is it's 2016.
Yeah.
How have you managed to stay relevant as an artist?
I'm a fan of the culture more than anything. I'm such a fan, I'm such a follower, and I'm a student of the culture to a point where I decided to get into it, not only just for me to make a living, but to make a difference. So that's just one thing that is always driving me. Each time I decide to get in the booth, it's like, okay, cool. What are we doing? Are we just making another record, or are we just trying to chase another hit, or are we trying to push the envelope, or are we trying to break new grounds? So
you're
that
constantly
spirit,
learning.
yes, it's that spirit of pioneering and championing new things that has kept me alive. I like adapting, moving with the times, and creating new trends and things like that. So I think I've done pretty well for myself, if I can say so.
Actually, pretty well for yourself.
You know what I mean? So
your hit Ukarakara along with Kid X was the first one to receive 1 million views on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And you were the first artist to actually get invited to Texas on a tour. Guim Southwest.
Southwest, yes.
I nearly said that wrong. Thank you. And what else that you first pioneered is that you were the first artist to be Cashtime. So there's a lot of pressure around you.
Yeah, and we were the first hip hop record to win Record of the Year at the Summers.
Oh, wow. Big on you, man.
Straight.
Big on you. This guy doesn't mess around. So how has the pressure been for you? Because people are looking at you now with raised eyebrows and actually thinking, where to from here?
It's still a long way to go, man. I feel like with all the years that I've put in the game, doing what I've been doing, I still feel like, I was just scratching the surface. I still need to push myself even harder. Every other year, a new artist comes into play, changes the dynamics, and you also need to compete, with the new guy and with the new style and, with the new way of doing things, social media, boom, 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 all these things. So for me, there are still a lot of things that I still need to conquer, that I still need to champion, that other people have championed, so it's just part of my journey. Right now I'm busy working on my second solo album, and we're
how's that going?
I mean, it's pretty challenging, coming from off the back of my first album, which is Kind of Republic, which did phenomenal numbers and it spawned a whole bunch of hits.
Yeah,
so
you've been quite a sensation.
So moving on to the next record, it's not easy, and I don't want to rush it and just release for the sake of releasing. So I'm taking my time with it.
I like that, because you actually give your fans something to listen to, as opposed to just rushing and then releasing something on the spot.
Oh yeah, 31 minutes past the hour of 12 o'clock. You know for sure it's your boy Little Just a Gummy Bean, who's still in the stew. We have your boy KO in the building. We're going to be asking him a little bit more about his ventures, talking a little bit more about the music he makes. And
all right.
I see the ladies are just flustered and having a great time.
It's Women's Month, I'm supposed to be having a good time. And KO's in studio, so
you as pink as the jersey you're wearing, like you're having a good time. For a vernacular rapper, you and your team have produced the Skanda sound. How much of an influence has that brought into other cultures?
I'd say first of all, that sound is inspired by Kwaito and the whole Mapanzula culture.
Yes.
That's where we those are the elements that we borrowed when we were creating that sound. And the main thing for us is showcasing South African culture on a hip-hop platform.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea that I had in mind, when we were sitting there making those beats and just crafting a certain way of sitting on a record as a rapper, if you're gonna sit on this kind of beat.
That makes it different.
Yes, sir. So, for me, that's pretty much, I think, what we have brought to the forefront of entertainment and SA culture and hip hop as a whole. And I'm also appreciating the fact that other artists outside Cashtime have ran with the whole sound. You know what I mean? Because when we created that, it wasn't necessarily for Cashtime. It wasn't supposed to be like an exclusive thing to Cashtime only. For me, I think that's the reason why Kara Kara became what it became. It was because I felt like we needed our own sound as South African hip hop. So having been the one who, was able to spark that fire and having other people running with it, for me, it's like, okay, cool. So it looks like, some people took heed, and that's what we need to do, man. Just be proud of who we are as South Africans.
No, Steph, you spoke about it's got some Kwaito, it's got some Bantu. Do you dabble in that? Do you personally just listen to some Kwaito, do you dance to it?
I'm a South African kid, bro. And when we were growing up, Kwaito was literally everywhere. You couldn't ignore that. You understand me? So one way or the other, it would land on your ear, whether you embrace it or not. I wasn't big on Kwaito back in the day. But I learned to appreciate it when I started realizing the fact that, okay, cool. Here we are as hip-hop artists, we're making the music that we're making, but we are not resonating the same way as the Kwaito artists did, with the public out here. Hence the reason why people were selling, quadruple, numbers.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
So I'm sitting in, I'm like, hey, what is it that made those guys different from us? And that's when I realized, I'm like, it's because those guys literally sounded South African. They were showcasing a South African sound, something that is peculiar to our culture as a country.
Yes.
So immediately when we started doing that in hip hop, that's where you saw now people selling platinum numbers in
Yes.
hip hop. You feel me?
Yes.
So honestly, I started studying Kwaito properly like in the last 3-4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as we spoke about KO Raption, it's KO Raption,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yeah.
How did that come about? Like, is it the manifesting of yourself? Of your music, because we all thought it was corruptions like Yela Baba Papa,
Yeah.
Then now you explain to us it's KO Raption.
Yeah.
Now, how did that come about?
Okay, so firstly, the reason why I went with that particular title, for instance, is, in the hood, when we talk about turning up, if it's like month end or like,
lit.
you know what I mean? We want to go wild out and do some crazy things, with our friends or, with, ladies and whatnot, you know
Of
what
course.
I mean? Popping bottles and doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
We describe that as some form of corruption.
Okay,
We
all
trying
right.
to get all corrupt and do some, some wild things. You know what I mean?
Who comes
So,
to Masala to say?
exactly, you feel me?
see.
So that's how the whole title came about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's literally a fun record. It's meant to be in the most light-hearted,
Yes.
manner,
manner,
instead of
yes.
like talking about whatever's going on out there in
In
the
life.
country or
In life.
in the world as as a whole.
Okay, cool. That's about it, guys. We unfortunately have run out of time, but you can catch KO down at the crowd. It's going down to the crowd. It's going to be spitting a few bars. I was hoping to spit a few bars of some of your jams.
Yeah.
Batagati, hello. You were there, but yeah, man, guys, we do appreciate you for coming down, talking to the listeners. Any just last words, to inspire the youth,
Before I get out of here, I just want to say a few things. Corruption, my latest single is out. It's on iTunes and all the digital platforms. You can also check out the video. It drops at the end of the month. We also have Bang Out by DJ Vigilante that that came out a couple of weeks ago with myself, aka Nasty C. Make sure you get that. And just about an hour ago, another record just dropped. DJ Vigilante featuring Casper. So the record's called Yeah. It's a hot
So that
record.
just dropped now.
That just dropped like
Been
an hour
waiting
ago.
for that
So
jam.
get on Twitter, get on slickeronlive.co.za and check that out. And so it's me signing out. I just want to say to all the young people out there, man, do not be afraid to be yourself.
Yes.
The world is hungry for your story. You can't come out here and try to be another AKA or another Kanye West. People don't want to hear that.
Yes, definitely.
Do you?
People just want to hear that unique story that you have to share with the world, and take pride in that and be yourself and make a difference. That's it.
Alright, Fresh, man. Yo, man, we wish you the best on your ventures.
Thank you for coming through to the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
1,000.
amazing.
Definitely
1,000.
going further as well into the international market, which you're dominating as well. We wish you the best. But now, guys, go out to the crowd. You can catch a big homie into varsity as well. You can catch that, which is happening starting tomorrow as well. So yeah, 39 minutes past the hour, 12 o'clock. You're still tuned into Levels. Don't go nowhere.
Madibaz Radio, opening up the waves for you to be heard.